What's up, everybody? Danny Dance here with another episode of House Dance with Danny Dance, coming at you from Minneapolis, St. Paul, moving to Miami, and so took a little detour on the road trip, headed up north to visit an old friend, and so today we're going to be talking about some new moves for you to practice at home and get into a little bit more advice on the music and really feeling the groove of house dancing. So keep on watching. What I want you guys to do this week is to practice dancing to different elements in house music. So one thing you can do is to just listen to the bass line in a song and just dance to that for a few minutes. Check out the percussive section of the song and really focus on your footwork during that portion of the music. Check out what the vocal is doing and really go off on that. So by sort of segmenting your dancing to different parts of house music, you're going to develop an intuitive understanding of what goes where, patterns that emerge from the music, when a snare drum hits, when a kick drum hits, so on and so forth. And it's really going to accelerate the development of your dancing ability to the music.
Oh, yeah.
Recently I was having a conversation with this cat from Baltimore, this cat, Brother Johnny as I call him, really big into house dance, really involved out there with the house dance community of Baltimore. And he was telling me, I didn't really know that the scene in Baltimore is really going strong. You guys have Charisma, DJ Span, Ultra Nate, all of them come from Baltimore, and so that sound, I always wondered where that punchy DJ Span drum sound came from, and now it all makes sense. But Johnny was telling me he had a conversation with Brooklyn Terry at one point, or maybe he just saw Brooklyn Terry in a video, in an interview, and Terry was saying that the music comes first. The music comes before the dance, and all we do in house dance really follows from the groove in the music, the instruments in the music, what's going on. It's all about the music. So if you're not feeling the music, you don't understand how the music works with house dancing, with house music, you're not going to really maximize your house dance potential. Let's talk a little bit about the patterns within house music. Having descended from disco, the music itself follows a 4-to-the-floor pattern. So the beat falls you have the kick drum falling on each beat, and you have you might have hats, the snares, or bongos, or cowbell sometimes, like different pieces, different percussive elements that are added to keep the music fresh and exciting, even though there's sort of a repetitive phrasing involved. The thing to remember about house music is that it tells a story. The various elements in a given song are following a thread that really tells a narrative. So you have the kick drum and the hats and the snares, and they're doing a certain thing. They're telling a certain element of the story. You've got the bass line and the chord progressions in the music, and the melodies themselves are telling a different part of that story. The vocals, for example, if it's a very vocal track, so on and so forth. So you can really dance to different parts of a house music track. You can dance to what's happening with the vocals. So if you've got a soulful house song, for example, and you've got Pevin Everett, for instance, just going off on this note and just singing, it might be perfect time for a spin, or if you're listening to a tribal house track and and it's got a lot going on in the percussive section, it's going to influence the footwork that you do when you're dancing to it. You know, same with the bass line. So I might be dancing, my feet might be going to the percussion, and my hips might be moving to the bass line, and my shoulders might be moving to the hi-hats. You know what I mean? And so those are the kinds of things that you really have to know your music to come to that point where you're anticipating the end of a phrase so that you know that you're going to end it with a spin, things like that. I'm kind of going off, but basically listen to the music, understand the patterns that emerge. When you listen to a lot of house music, you start to notice when different elements are brought in, and that's really going to help evolve the way you dance to the music. All right, everybody, we have Julius the Mad Thinker on from Chicago, man, right here, the birthplace of house music. What's up, Julius?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
You know, we've been talking about, we're both DJs, and we're both into dance. So you were talking about your experiences DJing different places. Tell me what you think it means to dance, for the music to come first.
What I mean by the music coming first is, you know, you get a lot of people say, oh yeah, I can dance, I love to dance. And then sometimes they'll say, well, can you play something that I can dance to? And my question is, wait, can you dance to something that I'm playing?
Right.
Because if you know how to dance, then what you can do is identify with the rhythm, and then you can figure out where it is and what it is that you can do to make it flow. And that's what I love about New York, because when you go, the dancers there, they listen to what you play,
right,
and then they create within that different rhythm, and they love when the rhythms change.
Right. One other question. Tell us, you've done a lot of travel, and so I'm sure you've seen many styles of dance, many styles of house dance, and just, you know, just tell me about a few different cities and differences you've seen in dance styles.
You know, there's a New York style of dance that merges what I like to say is ballet and hip-hop and house all together.
Okay.
And that style I've seen in France, in Amsterdam, in London, with the little tweaks here and there. Chicago, completely different.
What's it like out here in Chicago?
Well, there is what they call footwork in Chicago, which I can't really demonstrate right now. But it's hot. It's real hot. The only, what I would like to see out of the footwork in Chicago, though, I would like to see how they do footwork to the slower tempos.
Okay.
That's what I would like to see, and that's what I wanted to ask King Charles from Footwork Kings. Actually.
Okay.
I want to see what they can do to the slower tempos, because with the footwork, it's about these, like, I think it's like I want to say
135,
140. I mean, just boop, 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 boop,
like
boop.
the
It's
percolator, but like 140
like,
beats per minute.
Exactly, like crazy, and it's so interesting to watch. I love watching it. I mean, it's very exciting. But I want to see what they're going to do to some of the slower tempos as well.
Tell us how new fans can get in touch with your music.
TheMadThinker.com, Reverb Nation / Julius the Mad Thinker.
Awesome. Can people find you on TrackSource?
TrackSource, just put in Thinker.
Thinker.
In the search. Yep, put in Thinker in the search, and everything that I've done will come up.
Perfect. When are you coming to Miami next?
October 2nd, 2010.
October 2nd in Miami. Where can we? What venue?
At the Vagabond with a gentleman named Bodhisattva. The event will be promoted by Saraswati.
Okay.
So it's going to be a very quality event. Right after that, we all go to Mexico for the second annual Mi Casa holiday.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Awesome. Well,
Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So come down, all of you come down.
TheMadThinker.com. Thanks, Julius, man. Chicago in the house.
All right.
Have a great day, man.
Thank you, bro.